find out life's this game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, one half a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us.
Welcome into the Gibson Fantasy Football Podcast.
Woo!
We're back.
Oh, what a week.
What a week. We got some crazy scoring 2 weeks in a row now.
Yeah, it was enjoyable for myself, that's for sure.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
We both had ourselves a joyous time there, tearing it up with our fantasy teams, and it was fun week of football to watch. There's some weird scores. There's several upsets.
Crazy good fourth quarter in a Tampa Bay game.
Oh,
that was
man.
about it. They played one quarter, I think.
Some vintage Brady.
Vintage Brady for a minute or so.
Yeah, what was it, like 4 total yards of offense in the third quarter?
Yeah.
For the Bucks. It was crazy, man. And then, big upsets with the Jets taking down the Bills.
Ooh.
The Packers losing to the Lions.
I don't know if Aaron Rodgers ever lost to the Lions in his career, but he has now.
I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to be playing quarterback much longer after this year.
Bold statement.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, Josh and Aaron here. GibsonFantasyFootball.com. Gibson_FF on Twitter. Gibson Fantasy Football, all one word. Instagram, YouTube, Podbean, and Spotify. As we said, we are here for Week 10.
Week 10 already. Wow.
It's Wednesday, November 9th, on the precipice of Remembrance Day here.
Mm-hmm.
And we got 9 weeks under our belt. Only 8 to go, man.
I know the Thanksgiving Day
9 to
games
go.
are coming up soon. Yeah,
8
it's
to go.
It's getting down there, and not too many clear-cut teams right now that are like couple, but oof.
That's a good question, right? I mean, I think Philly, obviously, they're 8-0. I actually would probably go Kansas City maybe ahead of Buffalo at this point after that loss.
Kansas City did lose to Indianapolis, just saying.
And they barely beat the Titans in overtime, so maybe we shouldn't be giving them any credit there.
Yeah.
But those two are still.
I agree. They're still up there.
Baltimore's looking pretty good all of a sudden now.
Baltimore.
Bengals have been rolling.
Yep. They just
talk about somebody on the Bengals who had himself a day.
Yeah. Yeah. Big day.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's probably the list. I guess the Chargers, like, they're hanging around because of their easy schedule, but
yeah, to me, the New York Jets this year are the LA Chargers of last year. Almost.
They're good, but you don't think they're good. Great kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want to play the Jets, that's for sure. You don't make them a 15.5 point underdog whatever it was.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna get the revenge on you, get the receipts, taking receipts. So
Salah.
Yeah.
He's a good coach, man. Fun guy. That defense though with Sauce Gardner as the rookie corner, man. That turned out to be a heck of a pick. That
first quarter, I thought, oh wow, he's gonna get burned. No, forget about it.
Yeah, first play of the game, he gets burned by Diggs for like 40 yards.
Yeah.
And then that was like the worst thing he gave up all game.
Yeah. Yeah. So interested moving forward.
Well, before we indulge in the joy that Week 10 might bring, we have to recap the joy that was in Week 9.
That's right.
Fortunately, though, it was not joyous for all. Is there one individual that experienced an unfortunate day? And we will celebrate that individual right off the top here.
That's a great tune for
Right?
a raisin song.
So, I mean, we don't typically do a like a specialty loser of the week song. We just kind of give everybody the standard,
Classic Beck.
the Beck treatment. Yeah. But Craig was particularly celebratory of his situation and wanted to indulge in the moment. And he embraced his losing nature.
It was a bad week for him.
Wasn't good. We, I mean, he got the lowest score by 30 points. So, yeah, and he got taken down by the old man there.
He sure did.
Who rode Josh Allen and Devontae Adams to a nice W there.
Yeah, big time. Michael Carter had himself a day too.
Yeah, Alan Lazard came back.
Yep.
Hawkinson in his debut as a Viking was fantastic.
Late game too. Like he was putting up some low points there.
Yeah.
Going into I think the fourth quarter it was, and
9 for 70 though, man.
Yeah.
That's fantastic at the tight end position.
Moore even had himself a pretty good day for Arizona.
Yeah, Rondell Moore was in there again. And yeah, I mean, on Craig's side, Drake was a beautiful pickup. He went absolutely ham with 20 plus carries for 93 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, Burrow was okay. He ran for 1 and caught and threw for 1 for 206 yards. But outside of that,
yeah, 0 by Higbee. That's
rough at the tight end position.
That was just a rough game. Watch.
Yeah, Pittman's hard to trust now that Sam Ehlinger's the quarterback in Indy. Aaron Jones got hurt partway through the game. Tyler Boyd, much like T. Higgins, was just not necessary for them to win the game because ran the ball. Kamara didn't do too much. Khalil Herbert was a bit of a risky play. And then, yeah, 6 from the D and kicker each.
Yeah, and he didn't leave any points on the bench, really.
Yeah.
4 points, I think. So
no, there wasn't like a good pivot option. He was dealing with some pretty tough buys with Barkley and Kittle.
Yeah, I got to think Kittle will be going into his lineup next week.
And Barkley, of
but
course.
That's the tight end dilemma, right? Next week, Higbee will get like 15 points.
He could.
And it won't even be because he's going up against a D that is letting those points happen. It's just the NFL this season.
Yeah, it is pretty random.
There's no rhyme or reason.
It's a wild time. So so final score there, 137 on the button for OMG, 81.14 for Kreger. Not a good situation for him, but with Kittle and Barkley back, he'll certainly have a chance to bounce back next week. Now, there was also a celebratory person. And we'll spoiler alert that the two of us were battling to be the person.
Yeah.
And, not only did we each get a W, but we each had a chance to be said champ of the week. But there can only be one Highlander. And as the wise man once said,
Woo! I like it. I didn't know where you were going with it. I like it.
Well, I mean, I was up against Dan, right? He was sitting at 7-1. I was sitting at 7-1. He was sitting in first place. You put up another high score, almost took champ of the week again. So I thought to myself, you know what? To be the man, you gotta beat the man. Woo!
Limousine riding.
And I beat the man. So it was close for a while, and then I started to pull away there.
Yeah, I would say.
Really, Justin Fields, right? I mean, and everybody I think that had Justin Fields probably had a really good day. But my team as a whole, outside of Gabe Davis, had quite the day.
Yeah, I would say so. And Jefferson went off.
Oh, yeah.
Kenneth Walker III.
God.
He's starting to turn it up. Good for him.
He's so good.
Yeah. I always
so talented.
He could be one of your keepers soon.
He might be, man. He's pushing to be one.
26 times, 26 rushes for 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's a big game.
Yeah, it's a huge game.
Yeah.
I got a good one out of him. DK found the end zone. Goddard had his best game. So we started on Thursday.
Yep.
He had Jalen Hurts. I had Dallas Goddard. You always think to yourself, that's like a good but tricky situation because Jalen Hurts likes to run the ball. So 4-point touchdown, passing, but he put up 20, Hurts did, with 243 and 2, and only rushed for 23 yards, which is kind of a win considering the season he's having. But happened to target Goddard like crazy, who went 8 for 101 touchdown. So it was actually a match of 20 versus 20, which when your tight end can match his quarterback,
it's a wash.
It's a pretty good start to the day.
Yeah.
And it just continued from there. He had pretty good weeks still. I mean, 133.92. I was 164.22, but Hurts, Etienne, man, again, 109 and 2 on the ground. Eckler, 1 in the ground, 1 through the air. Kelsey, 10 for 106. 17 points from his kicker, which is the second week in a row his kickers posted 15 or more points.
That's ridiculous.
Like, still had a good week.
His receivers and his flex spots really didn't do much for him.
Yeah, his used to be reliable 4-pack of running backs that didn't originally include Etienne, but now does. But Fournette and Swift have been super disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
And Najee Harris is the other one who's on a bye, but he's also been super disappointing. So that keeper combo of Fournette, Swift, Eckler, and Najee, Eckler's really the only one that at this particular moment you're thinking to yourself, I'm super glad I kept all 4 of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, Kelsey is the other one that he kept, and nobody's ever going to regret keeping Kelsey until he probably retires.
Yeah.
He's just too good as long as Mahomes is there. But yeah, you're right. 7 points from Godwin, 4 points from Myers. Cooks didn't suit up. Sutton and Cooper were on a bye. He desperately is in need of a solid receiver to go along with those running backs.
And the crazy part was with the score that you got going into the Monday night game, I needed was it the Monday night? Yeah, it was the Monday night game. I needed Olave to just get like less than 9 points.
Yeah.
And what does he do? He gets 10 points.
10.1.
Yeah. Didn't think it was going to happen.
Yeah. So just to allude how close it was, I was 164.22. And we'll go to your matchup now. You were 163.74. So less than a point. About a half point.
I didn't think it was going to be too close because I thought going into the Sunday night game, I was a little bit behind you. I knew Mahomes, could put up good points, but he definitely boosted me up real good.
Well, let me tell you, Aaron, when you throw for 446 yards and then rush for 63 and a touchdown on the ground, you're going to have a good day. 35 from Mahomes in 4-point scoring is pretty massive. And we didn't say Fields 46 points there. That was insane.
Yeah.
We touched on that, but 187 and 1 on the ground set some records for rushing by a quarterback.
Most of the time, that would be the highest player of the week, too, with that 46.
But it isn't, Aaron. Tell me more.
It's Mr. Joe Mixon.
Woo!
Thought the guy was going to just single-handedly win the week for me with 53 points.
That was crazy, man. We were watching Red Zone, and all of a sudden it was like, touchdown, Joe Mixon. And I was like, oh, there you go. He got you a touchdown to start the day. And it was like, touchdown, Joe. And I was like, was that a highlight? No, okay, he's got 2, right? Touchdown. I was like, it can't be. Is that 3? And then it was like, a little thing pops up. Joe Mixon, hat trick by halftime. And I was like, Jesus.
Caught a touchdown.
And then he catches one. I was like, is that another one? And then he ran another one. I was like, holy jeez.
It was the Joe Mixon show.
153 yards on the ground, 4 touchdowns, and then 1 through the air. Performance of the year thus far.
Oh.
I think somebody was saying, like, depending on your format, it was 20th or 21st highest performance ever by a fantasy player. So,
who's the highest?
I don't know. We'd have to look back and see.
Oh,
but
geez.
I know Tyreek had a big game there.
That's right.
One time. Kamara did the Christmas Kamara where he got 6 touchdowns.
That's right.
So he'd be up there.
Yeah. That's high numbers.
If it's 6-point quarterback scoring, then there would be some quarterbacks that crush that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, other than that, I mean, those two literally between Mahomes and I was like 88 points right there, which was almost enough to win. But Sanders had a nice game, 93-1 on the ground. Waddle just continues to do Waddle things, 5 for 81 and 1. And your kicker returned after a goose last week with 8 points for you.
Yeah, I didn't think he was gonna put up another goose. I mean,
No,
one of the better kickers in the league, so
for sure. And we touched on it, 7 for 60 with Higgins. Same like Boyd, just didn't need him. On the flip side, Kyler Murray, 175 and 2 with 60 on the ground. He was okay. Tyreek Hill was amazing again, 7 for 40, 141 and 3. Hopkins didn't get a lot of involvement, 4 for 36 and 1. Came through with the touchdown. Mostert luckily found the end zone, but Jeff Wilson Jr. came back and stole the show there.
Yeah.
Algier was a big day with over 100 scrimmage yards, even though Patterson put up 2 touchdowns of his own. And then Mooney for the Bears was the only caught one of the touchdowns there that Komet didn't. So not a bad day by Don, 113, but just tough to keep up when you're getting 50 plus from a player.
Yeah. Take away that 50, it's
a little more interesting.
It's a close one.
And then last but not least, it's the battle of Jay and Evan.
Excuse me.
And unfortunately, Evan took the L here, 114 to 135. Probably nice for Jay. He got beaten out by, 0.2 points last week or whatever there.
That was crazy.
That sack was enough, the final game sack. But, he's got some problems. He lost Andrews and had a tough time with tight end. Lamar, still not great, 17 points. Christian Kirk returned with 8 for 76 and 1. Nice big day. Derrick Henry literally had like 90 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half. And then they just couldn't run the ball because every time they ran it, it was a holding penalty. And they had to then go into passing downs. But still a huge day with 115 and 2. And then A.J. Brown, 4 for 59 and 1. 26 points, man, from the New England defense. That's crazy. Second highest defense score on there. No, I think it might be higher than Dallas. But 9 sacks, only allowed 3 points, 1 field goal, and they had a defensive touchdown.
Big day.
Man.
Big day for them.
If it wasn't the Raiders that were playing Indy this week, I mean, you probably still could play them as a defense, but any half-decent defenses, you want to be playing them against Indy right now, man. Jonathan Taylor's hurt. Sam Ellinger's not a competent quarterback.
Yeah, and they just fired the head coach, brought in Jeff Saturday.
That was an intriguing move.
Amazing coach, right? Guy's track record. Wait a minute, wasn't he just doing like analyst for ESPN or something? I mean, not to say that he can't coach.
Oh, it's so funny.
Just put names into a hat.
He's literally never coached college or NFL. Apparently, he helped coach in high school, but I mean, come on, it's an interesting situation, that's for sure.
Joe at the local deli down the street used to coach high school football. You gonna throw him in there too, or?
Well, they're talking about that on one of the podcasts, saying like it's kind of insulting for all the other coaches that are like coaching as offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators on like a day-to-day basis. That this guy who, like, okay, yes, he was an absolute great center, knows the offensive line, knows the game of football, still an analyst, well connected, knows people like Peyton Manning and stuff really well that he could get some advice on and whatever, Tony Dungy. But I mean, it's still an odd situation. Yeah,
one of the most liked guys too, it seems like, in football. So
it's a local hero in Indiana.
Oh, right. Absolutely. But there's so many. I get it too. It's mid-season.
Yeah,
they're teams do this in all sports, right? Bring in somebody that maybe's got a bit of a name just to kind of get seats, get some butts in those seats and all that. Sure. But
could also be informally tanking, right? Trying to say, well, you know what? Let's just have ourselves a crappy season and go get a quarterback in the draft because clearly this guy ain't working out, and we know Matt Ryan's not the answer either.
No. And then they can look for coaches that way. Season.
Yeah, grab a coach before the draft so they can get their guy.
Yeah.
So who knows? That's it's a wild time. All right. Injuries. Well, it is not another week of fantasy football without suffering some injuries, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's tough.
Probably the biggest one would be Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Dealing with the elbow situation. So we don't know for sure if he's going to play or not. Says he feels like he can, but we don't know. They're saying like they're going to take it day by day and see what he's capable of doing. Can he make all the throws? How much pain? Pain tolerance will be a part of the factor, but that dramatically affects a ton of people. Like obviously him, and then Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs and Dawson Knox, and even the Bills kicker and defense, and the Vikings on the other side look a lot better if there's no Josh Allen to lead the scoring drives.
Yeah, I have to think the kicker value goes up a little bit. But yeah, like the wide receiver core that goes down.
Yeah, running backs.
Not to say that it can't happen. Who's their backup?
Well, that's a fun situation, Aaron. Glad you asked. They
They
play Minnesota, and they happen to have Case Keenum as their backup.
Ooh, maybe a little
revenge.
Yeah, a little tension there.
Revenge.
Yeah, that could be interesting actually. Also, not moving forward, but one game.
Yeah, it would be a fun situation to see how it unfolds.
Yeah, I like it. I don't mind that. Yeah. If they have to, I mean, don't risk it, right? Like,
well, that's the problem, right? I mean, you're
even if you lose this game,
you're 7-2 or whatever, right? 6-2.
Yeah, bear with us too. We got a bit of a dry cough.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hopefully, we're not coughing right into mics.
So, yeah. So some players we're still not sure. Like, we know Hollywood's still out. Treylon Burks might be heading in the right direction. Elijah Mitchell could come back. Dobbins is on a bye, and Njoku's trying to come back. Mike Williams still probably out a couple weeks. And then we got kind of the usual suspects: Kenny Golladay, Jahan Dotson, Jarvis Landry, Darren Waller. Andrews heads to a bye. JT, Keenan Allen, Brandon Cooks, who sat out for personal reasons there. Stafford, actually, this is a weird one, came through today that he's in concussion protocol. So, I mean, that's usually something you figure out on Sunday or at least on Monday, not on Wednesday. But yeah,
that's weird.
So
he slipped and fell in the shower,
right?
Slip and fall in the shower.
I don't know, man, but it's strange. I've not heard of a midweek concussion popping up when the game was 3 days before that.
It was karma, when that lady fell off the stage and he just turned his back. Maybe he fell off the stage.
Oh no, here we go.
Karma.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, again, a big, you're still going to play Cooper Kupp, but probably not wanting to touch any other Ram if Stafford's not in
there. No, it's got to be getting close to Deshaun Watson.
Week 11,
I
believe.
And I'm pretty sure the Cleveland Browns came out and said
week
he
11
is starting.
Or week 12. Yes, he's going to start in the game, and it's I believe it's against Houston. It's going to be that first game.
Wow.
Check when they play, because I think it's either week 11 or week 12. I think it's week 12.
Yeah, it was. They opened it because I saw that on the ticker. It's like Deshaun Watson is our quarterback, I guess. So, I mean, not that Cleveland's doing any great things right now with the quarterback that they have, but
week 13. Sorry.
Oh, so a few more
weeks still. Yeah, we got some time still till that happens. But yeah, he's also going to be returning, which is certainly, political perspective aside for a second, a big deal for fantasy in terms of all the people in that offense. Right?
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right, survivor picks. Well, we had ourselves an interesting time there. I went with the Dolphins. They beat the Bears, but it was super close, man.
It was.
If not for that pass interference call at the end of the game, maybe I might be taking an L on that one.
I feel like the Dolphins D is showing up like once this whole season. That was against Buffalo, and now they're just, I don't know, they give up some points, eh?
Yeah. And you went with the Jags to take down your Raiders, and you were successful.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You voted against yourself, and turns out that was a winning strategy for you.
That was horrible. That's all I can say.
So you've started a new streak of 1. I'm on a streak of 2. Overall, you've had 5 hits, and I've had 4 hits. So moving along here, but looking at the games this week, who's your lock that you're like, yeah, they're gonna do good. They're gonna take down their opponent.
You know what? I'll go back to my team. I'll say that this is the week they make a good comeback and they beat Indianapolis at home.
Okay, all right.
If they can't do that, then
Oh man, that would be
done.
that would be an embarrassing.
I say it every year, but I'm not.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're Leaf fans too.
Yeah.
That's anyone who knows anything about that knows why you would say you're done and then just keep on trucking. Who have I not used? Ooh, that's an intriguing one. I haven't used the 49ers, and they're playing the Chargers, who are shorthanded. All right, I'm gonna lock that in. I think that's a safe bet. I love Herbert. I like Eckler. I actually quite like a lot of the Chargers. I don't mind the coach, but on the defensive side, even with Bosa and Khalil Mack, like those guys. But yeah, they're just missing too many weapons right now with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. And excuse me, the 49ers are fresh off a bye. Debo practiced in full. Kittle will be healthy. McCaffrey will be well integrated into the system.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to be a dangerous team. Upsets. So, I went with the Seahawks to upset the Cardinals, which we both kind of agreed was a little silly. It didn't seem like it really needed to be an upset, but I'll take it. You went with the Rams to upset the Bucs, and unfortunately, Brady had some heroics at the end of the game there. So,
yeah, it was close.
It was very close. Yeah. So, what are you thinking this week? Who's jumping out as an underdog that you're like, you know what? I think they could overcome the upset.
You know, I think I'm going to start because I don't think Philly is going to run the table.
Ooh, you're gonna go with the Commanders as the upset?
I'm going with the Washington Commanders.
Oh goodness!
I think this is going to be my pattern moving forward right now. I'm going to
pick against the Eagles.
I'm going to pick against the Eagles
because eventually they've got to lose.
I just don't think they're going to go undefeated. But
I also don't think they're going to go undefeated. But I'm not sure I would put my chips on Washington. I'll wait till they play, Dallas again or something.
Yeah.
What do we got here?
That Jacksonville over KC wouldn't be too much of an upset just from the way that KC and Tennessee kind of played out.
Yeah, it could be more intriguing than I think it looks.
Texans beating Giants.
I mean, the Vikings is kind of an intriguing one because we don't know what Josh Allen's going to be like. I mean, I'm sure that line moves if Josh Allen's ruled out, but that could be one. You know what? I'll go back to the well here on the Seahawks, and I'm going to say that they upset Tampa Bay and the Bucs in Germany.
Oh, okay.
And, the international series continues, which means we'll have another early morning game this week. Although instead of 9:30, it's 10:30. Or sorry, no, it's 9:30 again. Never mind.
Yeah. 10:30 our time.
10:30 time zone.
Yeah.
So we got another morning game. Be in Germany. And I don't know what kind of football fans they are there, but I'm sure there'll be some people.
They'll be drinking some beers and eating some sausages and Rothwart and all that fun stuff.
Having themselves a
good
lovely time.
It's good. They're going to put on a good show, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like if one of the international soccer teams came here to play. We would go watch and have some fun.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
The other football. Right?
The other football. Especially if it was that Wexham team that Ryan Reynolds owns. Bring them on over. We'll watch them.
All right. Well, perfection lives on, as we just talked about.
It does.
So now, are you going to take the Commanders in the perfection section as well?
No.
Okay, you're gonna contradict yourself here and say
I'm just having some fun with
taking a fun upset pick.
Yeah,
hoping for the best. But
so
in your heart of hearts, you're gonna stick.
If it happens, then I can be look who called it.
Right. I get you. Okay. So we're both believers in the Eagles ultimately.
I do think they're gonna beat Washington. Monday night game. Good rest for them.
Yeah.
Because they played on Thursday. That's a big long rest for them. So yeah, they're going to be ready to go.
Divisional game too. Those are always fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's dig into it. We will review the standings a little bit later because that's going to be part of our last sip segment. Spoiler alert. Excuse me. But let's go first with. Let's go with OMG taking on Don. So both both the 7th and 8th place team here battling to try to stay alive on the season.
Mm-hmm.
Dawn, is she dealing with bye situations? No, actually, she's got a few people back, including the Dallas defense that she hasn't put in yet, and potentially Waller if he's back, or Njoku if he's back.
Yeah.
So good tight end options coming off the bench. OMG loses Michael Carter, but gets back Nick Chubb. So that's obviously a win. He's also got Judy Smith and Deontay Johnson that he can mix in.
Mm-hmm.
And probably going to want to get a new defense, placing KC there. But what are your thoughts here based on what we got going on? Looks like Don's picked up Patterson, so he's probably going to go ahead of Algier there. Hopkins, Hill, Mostert, Mooney, Thielen.
Yeah. Leaning towards OMG, make some of those changes.
Yeah, I think he's got the weapons to pull it off again this week.
Yeah. I like Hawkinson too. I think that's good fit in Minnesota for him.
Don't love the matchup against Buffalo, but
no,
they're shorthanded.
It's
who
in
knows?
Buffalo too.
It is, yeah. That's not ideal for them.
No.
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
But yeah, he's got to change that D. If he can, change the D, I'm sure he will. And maybe take out Jackson.
Yeah, Deion Jackson's probably not a good play with that Colts offense.
No. Nick Chubb coming back in the lineup. That dude's a stud.
Oh yeah, and they a pretty good matchup this week too. We got the Browns firing up against the Dolphins, who just got by the Bears.
Yeah.
So good chance for a lot of points this week. I go back to the Donwell. Stay against you. I'm still ahead in the matchups, but you actually caught up this week quite a bit because you got 3 right and I only got 1.
Ooh.
So 17 to 32. You're 13 to 32, but it's getting close.
Ooh. You want Don?
I want Don. All right. The other non-me and you matchup is Kreger and Dan. It's kind of intriguing one. So bye weeks are over for the most part. Well, Kreger's without Burrow and Boyd, actually. So that kind of hurts. Looks like he's picked up Marcus Mariota, which may or may not work out. They do play Carolina, so that's a nice matchup. Dan, on the other hand, gets back Najee Harris. Oh, he loses his kicker, though. That's actually like a big deal based on the last 2 weeks.
It is, yeah.
He's been on fire.
Usually you don't hear that. Oh, he loses his kicker.
Yeah.
Who cares? He's going to pick up another one.
It's a kicker, right?
Yeah.
But no, it matters, man.
I mean, if he drops Nick Folk, I'd go pick him up.
Yeah, it's almost worth stashing through the buy here. So he'll need to get a kicker, but assuming he finds himself a supplement, maybe Dicker the kicker for the Chargers there, right? If he's playing another game. What are your thoughts here? You thinking Dan's going to load up with a nice kicker and come through, or you think Craig comes through without Burrow and Boyd in the lineup for the upset?
I know you're going to take Dan, so I'm just going to take Craig.
All right.
Just try to catch up here.
I like it.
I think Dan, to me, he's got more consistent players, right?
Yeah. No, it's true. He's got some studs, right? Like he's got Jalen Hurts. He's got Kelsey. He's got Eckler. He's got Etienne. He's got Cooper back off the bye. Don't really trust Fournette or Najee. Even Godwin's a little bit dicey right now, but I think he's got enough to get the job done.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go with me and Evan because I think you and the last one are a little more intriguing. All right, so I take on the Evanator. He's got his trio of weapons: Cup, Diggs, Cook. He's got Dak Prescott back off the bye. He has no one on a bye. He's also got Lockett on the bench if he's selected to throw him in there, or Jamal Williams. And yeah, he's rocking a pretty good lineup. Went and picked up Gold as his kicker. Grabbed the Giants D, who's playing Houston. So he's loaded up. He's got some solid players. I am sticking with Fields again. Kind of hard not to.
Yeah, after that performance in the Detroit.
Yeah.
So.
I got Lamb and McCaffrey back, so I also got some reinforcements here. But yeah, my Buffalo defense plays Minnesota, which I don't love. So intriguing times. Thoughts here? Obviously, I'm going to pick myself, but
yeah, I'll go with Evan. But you know, about the Diggs, even Cup, even if there's a backup there, I'm sure he'll get some throws. But I mean,
yeah,
to what extent?
That's a good point. He has the two stud, top 5, maybe even top 2, honestly, receivers that are attached to quarterbacks that are both banged up right now.
And I like Dalvin Cook. It seems like Buffalo defense has given up some yards to some running backs, some good running backs at least.
Yeah, they've been more vulnerable on the ground there. That torched by Aaron Jones a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so
and even Carter and James Robinson managed to put up some yards last week. So, yeah, Cook could be in for a decent day. Yeah, Cup and Diggs are intriguing. It really depends a lot on Stafford and Josh Allen there. All right, last but not least, you and Jay.
Oh, yeah.
3rd and 4th place. Battling to stay at the top of the standings here.
Going down, Jay.
Going
down.
You're sitting pretty. You got Joe Mixon and T. Higgins on a bye, so maybe not as pretty.
No.
That hurts a little.
It hurts, but, he's got to get some rest after that big game. I'm okay with that. I went and threw Pollard in there. And
yeah, Zeke might miss, actually. They were talking about – I should have thrown him on the injury report. I was reading today. He's still not 100% sure he's going to be able to make it back, and they don't want to, hurt him anymore because they're playing the long game, right?
Yeah. So even if he does come back, he probably won't get as much touches as he normally would. So I'm going to roll with Pollard.
I think it's a good play,
regardless if he comes back or not.
Green Bay's not been a good defense, especially against the run.
No. I put Connor in. Looks like he's a go. So
yeah, he seems like he's good to go. He took back 70% of the snaps, even right off the injury. So
need a bit of a bigger game from St. Brown, and still got still got Kyle Pitts in there.
Right. Yeah, the Kyle Pitts experience has been
not great.
No, I had that beautiful game against Carolina. Now he does play Carolina again on Thursday.
Yes.
And it is a Thursday night game, which I know you're never fond of.
I know. That's it.
So there are some intriguing factors there.
But Thursday night games have been kind of good to me this year, so.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, he only has one game that he's cleared 3.7 fantasy points without a touchdown. So it's either touchdown or typically less than 4 points.
I'm worried about Jacobs and Henry, though. They could have a big day.
Yeah, Henry's got the Denver D, who's pretty vulnerable against the run. Jacobs has the Indy D, who's actually pretty good against the run, but it's just not going to matter because they're going to rack up points on them.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be able to score. Yeah, Jay's got Stafford right now, which is because Lamar's on a bye. He got lucky there. So no Lamar, no Andrews. He's sticking with Everett, and he's got Stafford. He might have to go get himself a quarterback. Yeah. I think I'm actually going to side with you on this one. I think you got the better team. It's always fun to create controversy and pick against each other, but
yeah,
I'm with you on this one, sadly.
I mean, there's again, I already went with some of those picks because you went with the other person.
Yeah,
but I think we added some agreements
for sure. Yeah, big game there. It's gonna be a good one. All right. Well, time to wet the whistle here. Prepare for the home stretch, as they say. Let's gear it up. Come on. Have a drink on me.
All right.
All right. Going with the Gibson Fantasy Football League standings pick'em. So we're going to take a look at this wild log jam of the standings that we have. We're going to pick who we think are the final 4 teams that make the playoffs. So right now, as we scroll over to the standings, we've got myself leading the way at 8-1. We got Dan, who's now second place, thanks to my win last week at 7-2. And then we got Jay, you, Craig, Evan in that order because of point total, all sitting at 4-5. Don at 3-6, and OMG at 2-7.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a pretty tight race. There's literally 4 teams there in the middle, all tied. So let's go with top 2 here. Any hesitation or doubt that Dan and I don't make the playoffs?
No, you guys are gonna make the playoffs.
I think that's
kind
of hard not to, right? Too much of a good record here.
Yeah,
All right.
you guys would have to fall apart, and wouldn't want to see that because that would probably mean injuries, and I don't want to see that. So
Yeah, hopeful that
happens,
but
no win for anybody on that.
All right, so we've been off to a good start. We've got some good picks. We've got some lucky pickups, every luck. So we're sitting here in good spots. Now, so we got you and Jay, 4-5. We got Craig and Evan at 4-5. We got Don just there at 3-6, and then we got OMG at 2-7. And I mean, Dan and I play Evan and Craig. So potentially, if we win as favorites, they would both drop down. And then if Dawn knocks off OMG, she could be right there at 4-6.
Mm-hmm.
So she could easily jump up. Plus, we still got several weeks left to go.
Yeah.
So thoughts here. Who's your first of the remaining 2 teams that are going to get in?
Oh, well, it's going to be. Yeah, I got to go with myself.
I thought I'd throw you
Get cheered up.
tee that one off for you. All right, so you're going to go with you, which is no surprise there. I think that, and I think based on you got the highest point total next to Jay, you've got a pretty solid team. Your tight end spot's questionable.
Yeah, that's the one spot.
I do like your roster, especially Mahomes, the way he's been playing. I like Mixon, Connor.
Need Higgins to.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's close. Will I think though? Yeah, I still think that you'll be one of the 2. So I'll duplicate with you. So let's go through it here. So we got Krager, we got Jay, we got Evan, we got Don, we got OMG, who's kind of unlikely but still possible.
Oh, for the 4, I got to go with Jay.
Gonna go with Jay?
Yeah, that Lamar and
Andrews.
Andrews. Even if Andrews isn't healthy for a couple more weeks, it's still going to be.
I think it's deadly enough that once it comes back, he'll be just fine.
Even Lamar on his own, I think, has been figuring it out. So it's likely.
Isaiah Likely.
So
he's super good, man. Yeah, I'm looking through the rosters here. So I mean, Krager. Lacking the depth. Those 2 Chargers with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams continuing to be out. It's really killing them. Aaron Jones and Alvin Kamara just haven't been themselves. Evan's intriguing. No, it's not Evan. That trio of players. He's got Dak rolling again. And he's got some players that have stepped up. I mean, Montgomery's been kind of iffy. But Juju's been fantastic. DJ Moore resurfaced. He's got Lockett. He's got Jamal Williams. Probably could get rid of Aaron Rodgers and pick up someone else that's intriguing. Evans in contention too, I think. And then let's go take a peek at Don as the final team that we might look at. Yeah, Kyler, Hill, Hopkins. Mostert's losing some work. Nice to welcome back Patterson. Taylor and Waller and Debo have been tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what? I think I'm gonna go Evan.
Okay. Yeah. When you said that, that trio, so
I think he can grind it out. Hopefully not this week because he plays me, but
Cook. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But if with those three anchoring his team, Dak back, past his bye week, Juju in there. Don't love Montgomery, but DJ Moore. Between Ertz and Dalton Schultz, he's got two reliable tight ends and he can kind of rotate. So I like his chances.
Yeah, can't argue against that.
Okay. There you have it. Well, there's only one thing left to do here. We got to pick the game of the week.
Woo!
Game of the week.
Almost forget the game of the week. There's some really actually interesting games this week. Even starting with the Germany game.
That's
Seahawks in Tampa Bay. I mean, that's
gonna be a fun one.
Let's hope for a little bit more football be played by Tampa Bay.
You would think so.
But the Vikings Bills, that's another intriguing one.
It is an intriguing one. It's on my radar.
Man, I would even go with
man. It's so sad that Packers Cowboys is not as intriguing as it should be.
No.
It should be such a good game.
You want to say it, but
yeah. Rams Cardinals is always kind of interesting as a divisional matchup.
Bears and Lions is interesting because
that's a fun one.
One of those teams will win that game and feel like they still have a chance, and one of them's going to lose that game and be like, "Boys, our season is probably not going to go the way we want it."
Bears are 3-6, Lions are 2-6, both in the NFC North. I mean, nobody's catching the Vikings at this point, but
the Monday night game's a little intriguing.
Yeah. All right, what's your lock in on? What are you thinking?
All right, I'll go with game I'm most excited to see. Vikings Bills.
I knew you were gonna take that. I was like, I think he doesn't say that. I'm gonna go that, but all right, I'll go the divisional rematch with the Cardinals and the Rams then.
Oh yeah,
I think it'll be intriguing. See what Stafford's got. I feel like the Rams are just gonna get massacred, but it is in LA, so maybe with some home field advantage they have a better time here, but definitely not if Stafford is in concussion protocol. No, that would dissuade me from saying that those are going to be an interesting battle, and I would then pivot to something else.
Yeah,
like the Texans and Giants could be an intriguing game. But yeah, I like the Bears Lions actually. All right. We've got games of the week. We've got matchups. We've got lots of fun things to look forward to. Anything else you want to throw out there?
Nope. Excited for this week to get started. Tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Who we got tomorrow night? Was it
the rematch? Carolina versus Atlanta.
That's it. Oh yeah.
The barn burner 2 weeks ago. That probably won't be a barn burner again, but who knows?
We didn't think the first one should have been, but
you never know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, GibsonFantasyFootball.com, Gibson_FF on Twitter, Gibson Fantasy Football, all one word, Instagram, YouTube, Podbean, and Spotify. Come find us, come interact. And as always, clear eyes, full hearts.